for your soul. Oh, good food by conversation. Here for your consideration is good, good for your soul. Oh, it's good, good for your soul.
What's going on, family? Listen, we are back with another episode of Good for Your Soul. This episode, we're going to dive a little bit into what is good for your soul, who is Ari, who is Jess, and I hope y'all enjoy it. So if you're streaming on YouTube, you can see our two beautiful faces. If you're joining us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, you name it. Thank you for joining us once more again this week. So, Jess, you ready?
I'm ready to dive in.
All right, let's get into it. So, shout out to all of you who have sent in questions for us to respond to. The responses and questions have been crazy.
Yes.
So for us to get to all of them, we're gonna do our very, very, very best. But of course, the first question is, what made us want to start a podcast?
I think where did Good for Your Soul originate?
Yeah,
I said
Where
that very
originate. Little country.
So, with Good for Your Soul, I think Ari and I were definitely at a time where life was lifing. Life was lifing. And normally when you are at a place where life starts lifing, you start to become stressed. You get filled with anxiety. Sometimes you feel like you're alone. You may fall into a place of depression. And a lot of times that can just really consume everything that surrounds you, everything that's in your mind. Sometimes your mind is going like miles and miles and miles per hour. And I think that we just came to a place where we wasn't doing anything that made us happy, that, gave us fulfillment. And so we used to always sit down and have these conversations. And we'll have conversations with our friends that'll last hours and hours and hours. And
conversations, though.
They were really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
And so we were, every single time we would come to the end of the conversation, we would always say, Man, we should have recorded that. Because it was so good. And so that's what we decided to do with this podcast is whenever we have private conversations or whenever we bring on guests, those people are people that we really truly love, and that hold a special place in our heart, and that can bring so many good gems and so many different perspectives. And so that's how Good for Your Soul originated, from a place of being in the valley to now learning and growing and journeying together.
Yeah, I think you definitely hit on something that was big for us. Is like, we didn't have anything that was fulfilling us. I personally was going through some things, and my schedule just went. I'm a very organized person. I like things to be very structured. And so when I lost that structure, I was like, yo, what am I supposed to do with my time? Like, what should I be doing right now? And so I was like, okay, let me try to be creative. And I was like, I can't think of anything. And then we just started talking, me and Jess, and we were just like, hey, why don't we just, start our podcast? Like, we've always been saying we need to have like these deep conversations and record them, because we're both the type of people that our friends come to when they're going through something and they need advice. Even if I can't relate, they're like, what would you do? And I'm like, well, child,
let me put myself in your shoes.
Right, what would I do? And so we just have all those conversations just based off books we've read or videos, personal development that we've consumed. And so that's kind of where our passion for this comes from. And so it was just deep rooted. It's like, y'all, it's just who we are at the core. Like me, I absolutely love having deep intellectual conversations. Baby, we can't have no conversation. You can't be in my circle for real. So it's like a mandatory thing. See ya. Bye. It's like a mandatory thing. Not saying that everybody has to be deep all the time, but just being able to be transparent. Have those growth conversations It was like a big piece. So we were like, let's put it all in one. But now the overarching good for your soul, where it comes from the food, the music, the conversations, and the good vibes, baby.
That's just who we are, period.
Facts.
Y'all, we are foodies at
Yes.
heart. Whenever we travel, and I mean, even if we have a trip coming up, Ari and I will be texting each other, be like, I like this restaurant
Let's
right
go
here.
here.
Okay. And you know where we get them from? The modern Google of TikTok. So that's definitely what we do. We're foodies, like I said before. And y'all, we love music. Okay? The 80s, the
Give me some Tina
70s,
Marie.
the
It's a little square
90s.
piece, baby.
What? Like I'm here for it all, you know. And so, and even our friends, they love that type of music too. So every single time Ari and I host something, it's always good food, good vibes, and good conversation.
Mandatory. Because that's a great event. So it's like, why not put all of those things together, package it up, put some cameras in front of you and some mic,
and share it with y'all,
and share it with the world. Because we realize everybody doesn't get that, and so we're just like, it's definitely one of those things. Because the conversations that we have, y'all, they're healing conversations.
Yes.
Depending on the subject, depending on the topic, depending on whose opinions and inputs and perspectives are being added to the conversations, it's definitely one of those. I've learned stuff from my cousin about the male perspective that is going to help me in my future relationships. So it's like, okay, now that I know this and how men think, it's easy for me to take that and navigate it. So that's like a big piece of it.
For sure. So we going in the future, because I know a lot of people ask, so what's next? What's the vision for Good for Your Soul? Now, unfortunately, we can't share that with you.
Because y'all is nuts. I'm just kidding.
You gotta stay tuned.
Yeah.
But in the future, we'll definitely have those conversations like we did with our first episode, The Male's Mind. So if you haven't tuned in there, you know, see it up there so that you can definitely go take a look at it. And if you're streaming on any of our platforms, if you have not heard that episode, definitely tune back into the first episode because it was a good conversation that we had. For real. And so honestly, that's just an example of how intentional Ari and I are when it comes to actually planning content for Good for Your Soul. We're not just going to bring anybody in.
No, ma'am.
We're just not going to have any type of conversation.
No,
it's very intentional about who we bring to you guys because we know that the value that they contain will really impact the masses. So
absolutely. And it's one of those things, it's like everybody wants a podcast. But I seen this one post and it was like, podcasts are healing grounds because it gives people the platform to share. Now, we don't take our platform lightly at all. So anybody that we bring up here to share content with you all, you guarantee they have either downloaded something into my life, downloaded something into Jess's, and we see the fruit of which they bear. And we know it's good content. We ain't gonna have nobody up here just talking crazy. No, ma'am.
We're not doing that. We are is quality over quantity.
Yeah.
That's definitely the type of people that we are.
Absolutely.
We're not gonna play no games with it. So I'm excited about where Good for Your Soul is going.
Yes.
Because we have some big things planned.
Yes.
And a lot of people ask the question of like, how big do you see Good for Your Soul being? I'm gonna let you answer that.
How big? Okay. Glad you asked. So, so how big do you see this being? So let's just say me and Jess have written a vision. We wrote it down, made it plain, and we submitted our plans. Now, the plans have been altered, but in a good way. The plans have been altered in such a way where growth is involved. Whenever you submit your plan to God, it's almost like you don't want to box them into the ideas or the concepts. So we see this thing being pretty large scale. Not even a matter of like, oh, we're on this platform and we're on this red carpet and we're talking to these people. But all of those things are great. but more so on the scope of who we're reaching, who we're able to help, the reviews and the comments that we receive based off these 30-minute conversations that we have with our friends. What gems and nuggets have been able to transform your week. Was talking to one of our friends earlier this week, and she was like, we dropped one episode, y'all. She was like, she finds herself at work at least once a day singing the theme songs to Good For Your Soul. And so just from that, just knowing that's just like a small piece. And then from the last episode, getting the reviews of like, it's great seeing, you know, males having this conversation, at least Black males having this conversation, because that was really centered around like the mental health and opening up and being transparent. So like, that's where our scope and our reach, like we want to touch the masses. And we're grateful and fortunate enough that God is able to use this platform to do such a thing. So we're definitely, this is his platform for real.
So I'm a church girl, you know. We're both church girls. But literally when, I don't know, because grandma used to say, if I could just help somebody, as I travel along the way, there it is, then my living will not be in vain. And that's literally what we are reaching for. Like, if we could just really just help inspire and impact and encourage someone, because a lot of times, I know we've had a lot of conversations with people and they always ask us, okay, why did you do a podcast? Yeah. There's so many different podcasts out there. Right. And understand that even if there's something that you want to do and there's something that God has called you to do, absolutely. First of all, you can never run away from a calling. It don't matter how long.
You could be Usain Bolt.
You run. No matter how fast you run, you cannot run away from God's calling over your life. But also, here it is. It doesn't matter how many people are doing the one thing that God is calling you to do. You're different from every single one of them. Yeah. You're going to bring something different to the table. You're going to bring something new to the table. Mm-hmm. And so literally the first step is the hardest step. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful for you guys who have just really encouraged us, supported us from the first day. Yeah. When we first dropped the idea on social media.
Y'all went crazy.
Y'all went bananas. And we are just so grateful for that, honestly. And I'm excited.
I'm overjoyed. I'm losing words, trying not to get all soft, if you will. But it's definitely to see the vision just kind of, not looking at you, to see the vision just kind of like roll out, and it's only the beginning. Yeah. So it's like y'all are coming along for our journey. I've never done a podcast. I've had businesses before, but never done a podcast. So this is new. This is new, and new can sometimes be associated with scary, or fear can sometimes be associated with new. But there's no fear. It's just anticipation, if you will. So I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. Thank y'all for locking in with us. Really cannot wait to hopefully be able to meet each and every one of you in person at some point. Please email us if you have anybody that would like to be connected with us. We plan on doing food reviews. We're going to do Trader Joe's food hauls. We're going to incorporate the food, the music, the vibes, as best as we can onto our platform. So please lock in with us.
Y'all. And please like, share, and subscribe to all of our platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And it is just so many things that we are doing. So definitely, if you are tuning in, please share it with all of your family, all of your friends, all of your networks, because we definitely want to make sure that the content that we're presenting to you all is really reaching the people that it needs to reach.
And it's good for your soul.
And it's good for your soul. Okay. So definitely we have some big major things that's going to be dropping within the next few months. So I'm excited about what's to come. some people got, some sneak peeks and things like that. But it's definitely gonna go amazing. And y'all, these next few episodes that we have planned, we gonna cry together, we gonna laugh together, we gonna grow together, and
we gonna reminisce together,
and we gonna glow together because it's all good for your soul.
But no, as y'all already know, we're gonna make this a thing. At the end of every episode, we're gonna say "good for your soul is," and then we're gonna insert those adjectives and then close out. So, just "good for your soul is."
Good for your soul is a movement. It's a movement. It's not one of those things where you just, wear it across your chest. It's not one of those things where you just read about it. It's something that you actually live and you actually grow with it. And good for your soul is something that will impact the masses. So y'all, it's a movement because we got work to do.
We do. If I had to say anything, I would say "good for your soul is." I'm torn between two words: inspiring and transformative. Because the vision that we have for this, we really want to be able to change lives. Simply put, and whether that's from the standpoint of inspiring another young entrepreneur to go for their business and go for their brand, or just transform your life from the conversations that we have. So I'm not even going to tell y'all what conversations we have planned for the rest of the year, but just make sure you lock in. I'm super excited, and honestly, I can't wait.
Listen, I can't wait.
There's the music. All right, anyway, there's the music. I have a song for everything, and so does she. So with that, thank y'all so much again for locking in with us. Can't wait to embark on this journey with all of you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and continue the conversation below. We want to know what you want to see from Good for Your Soul. Yes. So please just keep us updated on your lives. Follow us on Instagram. Shoot us a DM. Shoot us an email. Whatever it is. And we'll definitely reach out to you. So
until next time.
Y'all.
In 2 weeks. Yes. We will see you then.
All right.
Bye, guys.